forth, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Brother Jonas, and the title of this video is The Three-Headed Eagle, Edom's Destiny, 2nd Esdras. Destruction. 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 America, the eagle head in the middle, will be destroyed during the sixth seal. Russia, the eagle head on the left, will be destroyed during the sixth trumpet. And the beast, the European Union, the eagle head on the right, will be destroyed during the sixth vial of the Most High's wrath. 6 represents destruction. 666 represents Satan and the man of sin. The three-headed eagle. But we hear so much about the eagle. An eagle with a single head. The eagle as it pertains to symbols of power and front symbols of certain nations that rule this present world. The three-headed eagle ties a specific group of people together. The descendants of Esau, so-called white people or Caucasians, that are called Edom by God. Edom means red, and they are Edomites. Esau is the first son of Isaac that sold his birthright as firstborn to his brother Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel by God. These two nations or people are the center of the universe in a manner of speaking, the heel and the hand, as it says in Scripture. Christianity, or the Christian churches, would have you believe that Edom no longer exists because Edom is hiding their true identity as they portray themselves to be everyone else in the world in every land, as we have seen through their media in television and movies. You might ask, why would they be hiding? Well, because they are a fugitive and a vagabond, and God hates them, according to the Bible. You can find that in Malachi 1:4, the people against whom Yahweh have indignation forever. And in Romans 9:13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. They hide in false history. History is pretty much a lie. And garner empathy and sympathy from people by means of their media, which is programming the minds of the weak that watch the programming, and therefore concealing their true nature, identity, purpose, and biblical spirit, which is the spirit of Cain in the earth after the flood. Why is the eagle the symbol of Edom or Edomites? The eagle is considered the greatest and highest of all birds, above all that is on the earth, and that's how Edom considers themselves. God tells us in the Bible about this eagle, and it's not like any eagle we know today, because this eagle has 3 heads in prophecy. It has 12 large feathers. It has contrary feathers or smaller feathers, and it has 6 little wings. But more importantly, this eagle is controlled by the body of the eagle and not by the 3 heads of the eagle. In other words, the system, which is the body of the eagle, control the heads, which are the major empires in end-time history. Now, let's begin. Obadiah 1, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord Almighty concerning Edom. Concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. This is concerning Edom. Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. Though you, Edom, exalt yourself high as the eagle, and though you build places of habitations among the stars, there will I bring you down, saith Yahweh. Your might will not prevent your fall and destruction. Jeremiah 49, verse 7. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? This too is concerning Edom. Verse 16. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thy heart, O thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh. Your wickedness have deceived you, and the pride of your heart have deceived you, O people that live high in the cliffs of the rocks, or tall buildings today. O people that control the high places, even though you make your habitations as high as the eagle, I will bring you down from there, saith Yahweh. Jeremiah 49, verse 22. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings over Basra. Basra is the old capital of Edom, back down there in Petra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. And at that day shall the heart or mind of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. Behold, when Christ return and appear high in the sky as the eagle, and spread his wings over Basra, and at that day will the heart of the mighty men of Edom fail, and be as the heart of a woman in her pains. Where will your pomp be then, O people of Edom? Edom exalts himself as the eagle. The powerful Caucasian-led nations around the world carry the Roman Caesar standard of the eagle. He also exalts himself above other nations and bend them to his will, or enlarge hell by destroying them. He makes his nest among the stars. This isn't talking about a stop and hop landing on the moon in 1969, because the Germans were there long before that on the dark side of the moon. The Nazi SS Germans went into space in the 1930s, prior to World War II, using technology given to them by Satan. They were not allowed to use that technology in the conventional war that took place that we call World War II. Something greater was at stake: the construction of the Fourth Reich. Edom is more than just America, and Edom today has bases throughout our solar system and in other star systems. You heard me correct. They have taken slaves to other worlds to build there and serve their purposes. And the Most High will bring them back home as well. The scripture says, though thou set thy nest among the stars, a nest is a place of habitation and not a stop and hop on the moon. That was a distraction for the masses during the 1960s. While they was watching the right hand of this BS moon landing, they were not watching the left hand of a space fleet being constructed. Satan has given his children Edom the fruits of his technology, advanced space travel, and SS Nazi Germans planted the tree that bare that fruit decades ago. It is called the Fourth Reich, or the New World Order. And AI, that which people call AI today, it is actually angelic intelligence. I mentioned that before in a previous video. AI is not artificial intelligence. It is angelic intelligence. And angelic intelligence is being finalized for the masses and Satan's rule. Remember, AI is angelic intelligence. Now, we know Edom is the eagle in the Bible. Let's go to Job 39, verse 27. Doth the eagle mount up at thy command and make her nest on high? There are none higher than Edom, the white man. He is above all people upon the face of the earth today. Verse 28. She dwelleth and abideth on the rock, upon the crag of the rock, and the strong place. Crag is a cliff or rock face. Edom will live on the cliff of the rocks up high. We call them high-rise buildings today. Before that, they were in the Caucasus, in high places, and they lived in the cliffs down in Petra. Verse 29. For thence she seeketh the prey, and her eyes behold afar off. From Edom's habitation they seek prey to destroy, and they plan years in advance. Verse 30. Her young ones also suck up blood, and where the slain are, there is she. Edom trained their young to be just as cruel as the adults, to maintain that perpetuity of hatred and destruction of Israel. The eagle is spoken of by Daniel the prophet that so many of us have read about Daniel, but Daniel never gives much information about this eagle, and he never mentions that this eagle has 3 heads. In this lesson, I'm going to use scriptures mainly from 2nd Esdras chapter 11 and 2nd Esdras chapter 12. With what I will show you, you should be able to go through those 2 chapters and have it paint a clear picture for you about Edom and the 3-headed eagle, and how it ties with history and to the present time and future times. We will go back and forth from chapter 11 to chapter 12 because chapter 12 somewhat interprets chapter 11. And I will try and make it all clear for you to understand. Now, this was said to Esdras. 2nd Esdras 10, verse 57. For thou art blessed above many other, and art called with the highest, and so are but few. Esdras was blessed and called by the Most High, and only a few reached that level. Verse 58. But tomorrow at night thou shalt remain here, and so shall the highest show thee visions of the high things, which the Most High will do unto them that dwell upon the earth in the last days, our time. So I slept that night and another, like as he commanded me. The angel told Esdras God would show him things that God would do on the earth to the nations in the last days, in our present and future time. 2nd Esdras 11, verse 1. Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. The body of the eagle represents Rome. The 12 feathers represents the 12 Caesars, and the 3 heads represents Russia, the left head, America, the head in the middle, and the European Union, the right head. This is the eagle Daniel saw also. Look, 2 Esdras 12, verse 11. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel. Verse 12. But it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare it unto thee. You see, Daniel did not get a clear picture from God concerning the eagle. God showed one person this and showed another person that. We all know in small parts and prophesy in part, as it says in 1 Corinthians 13:9. God's ways are as a stranger to us, but everything is done for a reason. None of us prophets today know everything. We know what we know, and we learn a little bit more as we live each day, if we are studying. 2 Esdras 11, verse 3. And I beheld, and out of her feathers there grew other contrary feathers, and they became little feathers and small. We see from those feathers there will come other feathers, contrary or against to the 12 feathers. These feathers are smaller with less power and status. These are other Roman leaders that were not Caesar's. Verse 4. But her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other, yet rested it with the residue. The three heads were at rest. They had not risen to power yet during the time of Esdras. The head in the middle would be greater than the other two. The head in the middle is America, but it had not risen to power yet like the others had not risen to power yet. They were all three still at rest, waiting for the last days. And we are here. Verse 5. Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and reigned upon earth, and over them that dwelt therein. During ancient times, the Caesars of Rome ruled the earth. They had great status and power. The Caesars were a little different from the other Roman emperors that are little feathers. Verse 7. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose upon her talons, and spake to her feathers, saying, Watch not all at once, sleep every one in his own place, and watch by course. So the eagle, the body of the eagle, spoke to her feathers and told them to go and rule one at a time. Each feather ruled when it was their turn to rule. 2 Esdras 12, verse 13. Behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it. This is Rome, the body of the eagle. The outer parts of the eagle are the parts that rule, such as the 3 heads, 12 feathers, 6 little feathers, or 6 little wings, and it is the body that speaks to all the parts and not the head. The head does not speak and control the eagle. Verse 14, in the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another. This is very important because these are the 12 feathers. In the same shall 12 kings reign, or 12 feathers reign, one after another. This is the 12 feathers, or 12 Caesars. Let's take a look at them. Number 1, Julius Caesar, Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero, Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus, Domitian. These are the 12 feathers. These are the 12 Caesars. 2 Esdras 12, verse 15. Whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12. Now, history shows, and you know this, the second feather or Caesar will rule longer than the other Caesars. That was Augustus. Augustus, September 63 BC to 19 August 14 AD. The founder of the Roman Empire himself, Augustus, who has the longest reign of 41 years from 27 BC to 14 AD. He is the same that took down the well-known Mark Antony and Cleopatra. 2 Esdras 11, verse 9. But let the heads be preserved for the last. The heads were at rest during Ezra's time and will not come to power until the last days or our present time. The three heads are awake today. America, the head in the middle, is ruling the world now, with the EU head on the right and Russia, the head on the left. These are Edom-controlled nations, or nations controlled by Caucasians, who are the descendants of Esau, the chief people of Satan, and they are preparing this world for Satan's rulership. Verse 10, and I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads. The voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body. But from the midst or middle of her body. The eagle body is controlling the eagle and not the heads. The body is the political, social, and economic system of Babylon under the guise of Rome. The architecture of buildings, political structure that governments have today, and national symbolism of nations do not lie to us. This tells us that Rome is ruling. When you look at governments today, you can clearly see that Rome is ruling. And that would be the 2 feet and 10 toes of the statue that Nebuchadnezzar saw. Now, the interpretation, 2 Esdras 12, verse 17. As for the voice which thou heardest speak, and that thou sawest not to go out from the heads, but from the midst of the body thereof, this is the interpretation. That after the time of that kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of failing. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning. A bit of history here. Well, after Rome fall, it would appear that Rome is gone for good, but it was not gone for good. The Renaissance period, or the period of the rebirth of the Roman Empire, would begin again in the 15th century, long about 1492. That should be a familiar year to everybody. After the fall of Israelites' rulership during the Dark Ages in Europe, this rebirth was Rome rising to power again. One Edomite nation at a time, under different names. These refreshed Romans would hunt down the Israelites scattered around the world, primarily in Africa, to subdue us, to keep us in sin, especially with that pork, and to force us to build their new empire. Mission accomplished. They did those things. The final phase of the curses had begun for Israel during that time. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, the transatlantic slave trade by ships. From verse 11 down to verse 21, the contrary feathers, or smaller emperors ruled, came and went, and was no more. 2nd Esdras 11, verse 22. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more, nor the 2 little feathers. Verse 23. And there was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads that rested, and 6 little feathers. So the only thing that was left now were the 3 heads that had been at rest and the 6 little feathers. 6 little wings from the renewing of Rome up to the 3 heads is about from 1453 to 1912. I'm not a historian, but I believe the 6 little wings to be: number 1, Portugal; number 2, Spain; number 3, France; number 4, England; number 5, Persia, which was Germany under Kaiser Wilhelm. And for your information, Kaiser means Caesar. But this isn't one of the 12 Caesars. He just called himself Kaiser or Caesar. First of the 2 little wings under the right head, or under what will become the EU. Number 6, Germany, the Third Reich under Adolf Hitler. Second of the 2 little wings under the right head, or what will become the EU. 2nd Esdras 12, verse 22. And whereas thou sawest 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation. In his last days shall the Most High raise up 3 kingdoms, and renew many things therein, and they shall have the dominion of the earth. In the eagle's last days, this is where we're at now, in the eagle's last days, the Most High, not Satan or Satan, will raise up 3 kingdoms. This is being done by God. These 3 kingdoms are Russia, America, and the European Union. We see this now. This is where we're at in prophecy. These are the 3 heads of the eagle, major powers, major kingdoms. The renewing of many things. What is this? The renewing of many things are the word of God going out into print in the Bible, going out into the world for many people to see and hear. The awakening of the true Israelites, you and I, brothers and sisters, and the slow releasing of the curses off of us as we return to the Most High Yahweh. The curses are slowly being put on our enemies as their days come to an end, as they approach the end of Esau's hill. Primarily America first. The eagle head in the middle will go first. The Israelites waking up and rising to reach the inheritance that is promised to them, and only them, as the nations fear and tremble because of the coming wrath of God. And that will be Nemesis and Nibiru. If you don't know what it is, find out. And it will be difficult to find out because they have done many things to hide this online with algorithms. 2nd Esdras 12, verse 24. And of those that dwell therein with much oppression above all those that were before them, therefore are they called the heads of the eagle. The death and oppression that Russia, America, and the European Union has caused and will cause in the days ahead will be extremely greater than all those kingdoms that came before them. Therefore are they called the heads of the eagle, because of their wickedness destructive power, and military might. The eagle uses its curved beak and talons to rip its prey apart. You and I, and those that dwell on the earth that simply want peace and righteousness and a good life. And they have been ripping us apart for centuries. 2 Esdras 12, verse 25. For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness. Speaking of America, Russia, and the EU. For these are they that shall accomplish Satan's wickedness, and that shall finish his last end. The three heads of the eagle, Russia, America, and the European Union, are they that will accomplish Satan's wickedness on this earth, and that will bring Satan's sin to its prophetic expectations of being locked up for 1,000 years and then cast into the lake of fire. Yes, sir. It's coming. 2 Esdras 11, verse 24. Then saw I also that two little feathers divided themselves from the six, and remained under the head that was upon the right side. For the four continued in their place. Two of these little feathers or wings will come into play later. Verse 25. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wing thought to set up themselves and to have the rule. Two of these little feathers or little wings had thoughts of global rulership. Y'all know who they are. The other four feathers or little wings will start to rule one after the other. They played fair, and they didn't try to conquer the whole world. Let's see who they are in history. 2 Esdras 11, verse 26. And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. This is Portugal. They went out with their ships after learning to navigate by the stars. That's the only way you can cross the Atlantic or any major ocean is by star navigation, celestial navigation. And it was the Israelites in Europe during the time of the Dark Ages that taught them in universities that the Israelites set up. Portugal's time was short. Now, I know some of y'all hearing this don't believe me. Go check history out. Not in your school book history. You got to go into libraries and find out the real deal history. It's there, brothers and sisters. And it was written by the white man, not by us. They hide that. 2 Esdras 11, verse 27. And the second was sooner away than the first. Who was the second? This is Spain, the same dog in greater numbers, and ships spreading Christianity with the sword in one hand and our stolen Bible in their other hand. Verse 28, and I beheld, and lo, the two that remained thought also in themselves to reign. This is France and England during the 1700s and 1800s, each one in greater power during the period Edom called colonialism, or people stealing, or unrighteous slavery. So you see how things have progressed through history from the 1400s with Portugal, 1600s, Spain, 1700s, France, 1800s, England, and so on and so on. These four feathers have progressed in their time. 2 Esdras 11, verse 29. And when they so thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest, namely, it that was in the midst, for that was greater than the two other heads. During their time of rulership, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest, namely, it that was the head in the middle of the eagle. This is America's rise in 1776. America! America rose during the French and English colonialism. America would be greater than the two other heads, Russia and European Union. America would be above them when they awakened. They would materialize later as a global power. Verse 30, and then I saw that the two other heads were joined with it. After progression of time, we got some time from the 1800s up to late 1912 and after. This is America, Russia, and parts of Europe that will later make up the European Union. Verse 31, and behold, the head was turned with them that were with it. They were working together and did eat up the two feathers under the wing that would have reigned. This is talking about World War I and World War II. You will have America working with England and France and Russia to defeat Germany in World War I and World War II. America, Russia, and parts of Europe that will make up the EU come together to fight Persia, which was Germany in World War I. One of the feathers or little wings that were under the right head. They sought to take over the whole world. See, I had mentioned that earlier. They also fought Nazi Germany in World War II, the second feather or little wing that were under the right head. Hitler also sought to take over the whole world. That is what set them apart from Portugal, Spain, France, and England. They sought global domination. Now, these two feathers were eaten by the heads and are a part of the body again. This is after World War II, 1945. Germany is now a part of the EU, under or a part of that head on the right, that eagle head on the right. 2 Esdras 12, verse 29. And whereas thou sawest two feathers under the wings passing over the head that is on the right side, it signifieth that these are they whom the highest hath kept unto their end. This is the small kingdom, and full of trouble, as thou sawest. The chief people, Amalek, the chief people of Edom. Persia, Germany under Kaiser Wilhelm. Kaiser means Caesar. You see the traits or evidence of their roots. First of the two little wings under the right head. Then you have Germany, the Third Reich under Adolf Hitler, whose parades, if you ever seen the parades in Germany in World War II, remind you of Romans marching. They carried the flags, an eagle on the pole as a standard, just like the Romans did. Second of the two little wings under the right head. These two little wings thought to have global rule on their own. And it wasn't going to go down that way. 2 Esdras 11, verse 32. But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth with much oppression. And it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been. This is talking about America. It had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been. Governance means control. America to this very present day, has had greater control over the world than any other power in history. Now, they will be superseded in the end by the European Union when Satan is down here in the world. Then they will have more control than any other power ever in history. But at this present time, America's might has materialized after World War II in 1945. She came on the stage, and she is the top superpower of the world to this very day of 2023, and began to reign and to covertly destroy nations and lands and enlargeth hell with its power. America. 2 Esdras 11, verse 33. And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. Now all of a sudden, America is gone. Suddenly, all of a sudden, what happened? After progression of time, sometime during or after the year 2023, America will be destroyed in one day by the wrath of God when the sixth seal is opened. The scripture tells us in one day, Mystery Babylon the Great will be destroyed. That whore will be put down like the dog she is. Now, the head that was in the middle, which is America, suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. America is destroyed at this time. That's right, folks. The lady, the whore, Mystery Babylon the Great is stoned to death by God using the meteor tail of the Nemesis star system that is millions of miles long. The debris field of the Nemesis star is millions of miles long, and burnt her up with nukes by her friends. All of them hate America and know that she must be sacrificed. The other nations know America must be sacrificed because the one thing that stands between the New World Order and this present time is America. America is a mighty machine that was put together, and until America is destroyed, the New World Order just ain't going to happen. There are too many guns here in America. So America has to be put down first. And that is what's going to happen. 2 Esdras 12, verse 26. And whereas thou sawest that the great head appeared no more, see what it says? The great head appeared no more, speaking of America, it signifieth that one of them shall die upon his bed. America died upon its bed. America did not die in global war. America is going to die in one day by meteors and then with nukes by her friends. Let me read this again. And whereas thou sawest that the great head appeared no more, it signifieth that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. America will be destroyed, die upon its bed, or while it is at rest, by the events of the sixth seal, the wrath of God, the Nemesis star system, and not by war. And the EU will burn her with nukes to make sure she is dead, never to rise again. Now, more than likely, Russia will chip in, Iran will probably chip in, North Korea will probably chip in, because all the nations of the world hate America. So when they see America greatly wounded, greatly destroyed by these meteorites, they want to make sure, they want to verify that she don't get back up. So they launch nukes. 2 Esdras 12, verse 27. For the two that remain shall be slain with the sword. Russia and the EU must be killed in battle by the sword. Verse 28, for the sword of the one shall devour the other, meaning one will kill the other. The EU will destroy Russia, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself. And that would be Yahushua putting down the beast, the EU. Concerning Russia and the EU being stronger after eating America's flesh or absorbing the remainder of America's military might after her destruction. When America is destroyed, the remaining military power around the world that's scattered in over 800 bases will be absorbed by the European Union or NATO. The sword of the EU will then devour Russia in battle because they will rule together temporarily for a very short time, and then the EU will devour Russia in battle. But in the end, the EU will fall by the sword of Yahushua. And we all know that's the two-edged sword. Upon his return, he will open his mouth, speak, and burn them up. 2 Esdras 11, verse 34. But there remain the two heads, Russia and the EU, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth, and over those that dwell therein. The two heads that remained, Russia, the left head, and European Union, the right head, ruled upon the earth, and over those that dwell therein. Business as usual without America. The New World Order is being set up. This should be during the Great Tribulation period. The world should be in great turmoil at this time. Let's face it, America is smoking. The torment of her is going up into the atmosphere. Much smoke, much radiation. Nemesis should be a globally known fact at this time. Everybody in the world will know about Nemesis at this time because of what happened to America. 2 Esdras 11, verse 35. And I beheld, and lo, the head upon the right side devoured it that was upon the left side. So the right head or European Union fought in war and destroyed the left head, which is Russia. Although they are all Edom, they still fight and kill one another because of their love for blood in their worship to Satan. And that's the spirit of Cain after the flood also. 2 Esdras 11, verse 36. Then I heard a voice which said unto me, look before thee, and consider the thing that thou seest. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle, and said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? This is Yahushua speaking to the last beast that remained of the four beasts from the statue that Nebuchadnezzar dreamed about, the statue of Babylon. Verse 40, and the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth, with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. So at this point, the EU is become the beast power and has destroyed Russia. America is dead, and the EU, the beast power, is now have full control over the earth. There have been no empire like it. It is top dog. This is global dominance by Satan using remnants of Rome and his people, Edom. Verse 41, for the earth hast thou not judged with truth. Edom, in their rule over the centuries, ruled with lies, ruled with deceit as the cornerstone and the foundation of everything they built, denying most of their own people their portion of their heaven here on earth. Most folks do not know, most white people do not know that this is their heaven. And they have been cheated out of their heaven by their own people at the top. Verse 42, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Edom has enlarged hell where there was peace. Edom is a destroyer like their father Satan. Edom is a bully that is on top. But Edom will finish on the bottom below all nations. Guaranteed. Verse 43. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. Edom's wrongful dealings are come up to the Most High, Yahweh, and Edom's pride to the Mighty One of Israel. Edom's cup of existence is full of sin, is full to the brim, just as the cup of the Amorites during Israel's time had to be filled to the brim before we could go into the promised land. So has Edom's sins reached the brim of their cup of existence. And we are but a step away from eternal glory and eternal power, brothers and sisters. Verse 45, and therefore appear no more, thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed. What was that? That all the earth may be refreshed, and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. Edom is done, and 1,000 years of generational slavery awaits her remnants, and then the lake of fire for those Edomites that lived during the 1,000 years. The Edomites that were a part of the beast nation, anybody that accept the mark of the beast, not just the Edomites, but all nation, including wicked Israelites, weak Israelites that accept the mark of the beast, you become a part of the beast nation, and you will be cast into the lake of fire when Christ returns. Immediately. No 1,000 years. Stop. Do not go past go. Go straight to the lake of fire. With the false prophet. The Edomites that remain around the world at that time will be put in slavery by the 144,000 Israelite kings, 12,000 from each tribe. The Edomites will bear children, and their children's children will bear the souls of all the Edomites of time past that think they escaped in death. Nobody escaped in death. After all their wickedness, but will be brought back to go into slavery. He that leadeth into captivity must go into captivity to pay for their crimes against the Most High, to pay for their crimes against the nation of Israel, to pay for their crimes against this beautiful earth. A fugitive and a vagabond no longer will they be. The spirit of Cain will cease to exist on the earth in a few years and 1,000. Edom is Rome. Edom is the eagle. Edom are the children of Satan and the rulers of this present world and economic system. With Satan, their father, and Edom will be no more after the great white throne judgment. You should have a better understanding of the three-headed eagle, Edom's destiny. Peace be with you, Israel. And remember, tick-tock.